Sing, oh, please.
Hi, I'm Ben Ramsden, and I'm actually going to read a statement so I don't forget anything. It's only my second time here, so I might get a little nervous. But first of all, I want to say hello to the city council members, and thank you for Ms. Piedmont Smith and Mr. Flaherty for coming out to my house on Saturday and walking through the neighborhood on the south side to talk with me and the people in the area about Crawford Apartments, of course. I believe they may have learned a lot. The main thing I believe they learned is that not one person they met disagreed with me. Not one. I believe they learned that the people there that disagree vehemently with the mayor, Hamilton, and when asked about a politician pitching this as a great for the city of Bloomington, then in order to get more funding is a lie and a con. When they were there, they agreed that the reason this is not at Hyde Park or IU is because the people that live there would have put up way more of a fight. They saw needles and needle caps everywhere, and even had people who heard what we were talking about excited that someone was actually caring because they can't let their kids outside, and had picked up 32 needles themselves recently just so she could walk her dog. They agreed that no one would want this in their area. No one does. So my question is when is the board going to stand up to a mayor who is doing what he wants instead of what anyone should be able to see as the will of the people he serves? 4,000 votes of people who most likely were begged to vote doesn't give you the right to go against the people's will, does it? I personally don't believe the mayor is unintelligent, so he has to know that people hate this and will hate it wherever it's built. He is not unintelligent, then I can only conclude, if he is not unintelligent, then I can only conclude that he is not being sincere when saying how great this is for the city. He even has a person quoted on his webpage about how much Crawford has helped him. That person works at the Shalom Center who got all this started. Seems a little shady to me. The mayor also told me after the last meeting that he would talk to me if I wanted, but doesn't answer messages or call. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to talk to me either if I was him. I would like some kind of response to this evening. I asked Ms. Piedmont Smith and Mr. Flaherty, and I'm now asking the board the same thing. Since every person you talked to said that this is ruining the area and they would absolutely not want these built anywhere, when are you going to put politics aside and stand up to our mayor going against the people of this city and their wishes? I hope you actually represent the people and not just what you think is right. When I told my father I may run for council, he asked me a question. What would I do if I was on the council and people wanted things done that I didn't agree with? I had to think long and hard because I have strong feelings on some issues. I told him I would have to do what the people wanted because that's my job, whether I agreed or not. If I couldn't do that, I would have to resign my position. I'm going to repeat that not one person down there agrees with the mayor that we talk to, and I talk to people all the time there, way more than we did the other day. When people were informed that his sales pitch is attached to so much money, they started to see clearly what is happening. It's a sales pitch by someone pushing their own cause against the people and feeding a load of garbage to us to get it done. I personally won't stand for it if there is anything I can do about it. I'm just getting started and will not go away. I've looked up crime stats for our city, and according to cityrating.com, Bloomington crime rates are expected to be higher in 2020 than they were in 2016. The violent crime rate is 12% higher than the national average. The property crime rate is 30% higher than the national average. The property crime rate has risen 7% under his tenure and was already 23% higher than the national average. This is not a great success like he pitches in the newspaper. Honestly, though, all of that is not as relevant as the will of the people. So I asked the council members who came to my home and our neighborhood to educate the rest of the council on what percentage of the people you met agreed with the mayor and what percentage agreed with me. The answer is a rout. Every person was with me and 0 for the mayor. Kroger isn't open 24 hours anymore because of this. The dollar store manager won't move here when she lives 40 minutes away and said it is absolutely terrible compared to Mooresville where she was the manager before. The village pantry manager can't get store improvements because of loss of goods and paying customers don't want to go in there. Just last night they had somebody jumping on everybody's car hoods at the village pantry and 5 cop cars out there. Just last night. The McDonald's manager has needles in the restroom and calls police regularly, and they say they can't do anything. Wheels Auto has Shalom residents throwing feces on his cars for sale because he asked them not to bother his customers and stay away from his lot. So I'll finish with this. Are you, the board, going to do what is right for the people and stand up for the people against the mayor, spending all of this money to do the opposite of what the people's will, or of what the people want? If not, my belief and the belief of the people is that you should step down now and let someone else step up. If not, I guess we will have to step up in 4 years. Soon I'm going to start knocking doors all around, making social media pages, organizing protests, and walk down the middle of the street with signs like I saw the other day. I don't like having to be the person to lead the charge, but a real leader is needed to stop this. If you can't step up for us, then as the board, I respectfully ask you to step down. I will say that Mr. Flaherty and Mrs. Piedmont Smith were very respectful. Mr. Flaherty, I did investigate your Housing First model. I have some issues with it. One major one is it says nothing in a person's history or present should stop them from being able to use that service. That's not good at all, and good luck selling that to anyone who actually studies it.
Flaherty, I'm afraid. Or were you nearly done?
I'm nearly done, yes. It says we should house them whether or not they follow the rules or not, whether they participate in treatment or not, or whether they have a criminal record or not. You talk to the people who live in the area, they wouldn't go for that at all. Every person you talk to who are on the front lines this 24 hours a day told you these people could go to work and are playing the system. Do you work for us or the mayor? Does the mayor work for the people or his own agenda? Being a public servant is not easy. You aren't here to do what you think is right, but what the people want. Now that you know, you should act immediately to step down. Please don't ruin our city. And tonight, the people would like a response. Here is where, and there's only one more paragraph. Here where it's for everyone to see. If it's so great, proudly answer these questions. And Mr. Mayor, I welcome you to walk the neighborhood with me like the council representatives did. It won't be a good time for you, but I think it's time you come meet the people who live in the areas you're ruining. Thank you. I'll make time for it if you will, because I care much about this city. Do you? Thank you.